All right, so we got breaking news here on NBA Today. I don't know if you have your Woj notifications on. I certainly do. Woj, you just tweeted moments ago. What can you tell us about what's going on with AD and his extension?
Yeah, massive news, Christine. Anthony Davis has agreed on a new 3-year, $186 million contract extension. That ties him to the Lakers through 2028. That's worth now a total of $270 million plus on his deal. Clutch Sports' Rich Paul, their CEO, just told me an agreement just in the last few minutes. And now Anthony Davis at $62 million a season. That is the richest annual contract extension in NBA history. And this is for, Anthony Davis coming off a season when he had career highs in field goal percentage and rebounds per game, averaged 26 points a game, helped the Lakers to the Western Conference Finals. And now their cornerstone, along obviously with LeBron James, he is under contract through 2028 with the richest annual contract now in NBA history, $62 million a season. Rob Pelinka, Rich Paul just finalized that agreement moments ago.
Okay, let's go to the Lakers side of things. How did this deal come together? What was their strategy here?
Christine, this was the first day that Anthony Davis was eligible to sign this contract extension. And, both sides very much wanted it. It's certainly the max number, 3 years, 186. And that's, I think, with the continued rise of the salary cap at 10%, that gets him to that 186. But for the Lakers now, they have, their 4-time All-NBA forward/center under contract now through 27-28. Anthony Davis is 30 years old, in the prime of his career. And this is a Laker team now that got to the Western Finals last year, that believes it improved themselves this summer, kept all the players it wanted to keep in restricted free agency, added some more. And now Anthony Davis and the Lakers, they go forward together. 2019, Lakers gave up a great deal to the New Orleans Pelicans to acquire Anthony Davis. They won a championship together in 2020, and they'll see if they can win another here in this next window, while LeBron James remains, certainly still a very high-level player in the NBA.
Yeah, that's certainly something that was very important for them to keep that consistency. Kendrick Perkins and Ramona Shelburne joining this conversation. Perk, what's your instant reaction to AD signing a 3-year, $186 million extension with the Lakers?
Christine, my reaction is get your letters, right? Congratulations. I don't even, at this time, I don't want to break down. I don't want to go into details whether it was the right move for the Lakers or not. I just love it when guys get paid. Again, I've said this plenty of times. Yes, it's entertainment to the outside world, but this is still a job, and the object of being in the NBA is, one, performing at an elite level, but getting the most money that you possibly can while you're playing the game of basketball. So kudos to AD, kudos to Rich Paul for getting the deal done, and kudos to the Lakers for locking in Anthony Davis, who is a top 5 talent in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, this stabilizes the Lakers' future. We all saw what it was like after Kobe Bryant retired, when they didn't have a superstar, and it took a while for LeBron James to sign there as a free agent. They were lost in the wilderness for quite some time until LeBron James and Anthony Davis got there. As soon as those two teamed up in 2020, they won a championship. This year, they get back to the Western Conference Finals. And there's this uncertainty that hangs over the Lakers' future with regard to LeBron James because of this might be his last year there. He has left the door open on whether he wants to retire, whether he wants to go play someplace else where one of his sons is playing. That whole situation has obviously has a different tenor to it now with what's happened with Bronny James. But Anthony Davis is going to be there. And that is a huge deal for the Los Angeles Lakers, to know that you have a superstar signed up for the next 5 years. Now, what that team looks like outside of Anthony Davis will be interesting going forward, because it matters to him. He wanted to trade to the Lakers so that he could play with a championship caliber team, so that he could compete for championships. And so they'll have to fill out that roster around him. after the next couple of years.
Perk, Ramona just alluded to
I
it.
get-
Okay, go ahead, Perk.
Can I get one more shot
Yeah.
at? Can I get another shot at this? Look, the pressure is on Anthony Davis. Okay, ever since he got traded there, I couldn't hold it in. Ever since he got traded to the Lakers, yes, he helped deliver the championship. But again, the Lakers has done right by Anthony Davis. He has signed 2 deals since he's been in a Laker uniform. They have done everything to try to put him in position to be successful. Now it's on AD to deliver in great fashion. I talked about how he's the top 5 talent. Now he needs to go out there and prove it and be available. And again, put his name back in the conversation with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, and Jokic as one of the best bigs in the game and be reliable.
Woj, I want to ask you this. Can you give us a sense of the money here? It's the richest annual salary in history. We have a little bit more time left. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it eclipses annually the Jaylen Brown extension with the Celtics, that 5-year, $304 million.
was quick.
This jumps over that at the $62 million a year.
All right, here's what the Knicks
do my
rotation
best.
potentially looks like. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart in the backcourt, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson in the front court. They have a solid bench pieces like Emmanuel Quickley, Dante DiVincenzo, and Evan Fournier. All right, Ramona and Kendrick Perkins. Perk, I'm going to start with you. Let's keep it with the Knicks. They were able to win their first playoff series in a decade last postseason. What are your expectations for New York this year?
Well, they're going to be a top 6 team in the Eastern Conference. They're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to be a second-round exit. That's their ceiling. Unless they make a trade in the middle of the season or before the season starts, I don't see anything happening with the New York Knicks as far as them getting to a conference finals or reaching the finals. And look, I love Jalen Brunson. I love what Josh Hart brings to the table, but you gotta have another bona fide superstar. And I know RJ Barrett is good, but he hasn't reached that tier yet. They're a second round type team that's gonna be out in the second round unless they make a big trade. I just don't think the combination of Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson is enough to get you past a Milwaukee Bucks or a Boston Celtics.
I mean, that has been the case, Perk. And by the way, they're taking notes. You'll be on the bulletin board there in Tom Thibodeau's office. But that's where they are.
Ramona, it won't be the first time. I've been on Tim's bulletin board so many times. But he was the assistant for breaking down his defense, so it won't be the first.
You're right. And listen, they are one of the most well-positioned teams in terms of assets to go out and acquire whichever superstar is disgruntled next, whichever superstar moves next. They've held on to their assets. That they didn't trade for Donovan Mitchell last year, right? They were in that conversation, but they still have all of those draft picks and all of those young players that you're going to hear them mention with James Harden. You'll hear them mention all year long for Karl Towns or Joel Embiid or whoever else's name will come up in these conversations because of how their teams are doing. And so I think that they have to sit tight and decide, can we just keep this consistency of this group? And if we do, and stay positioned to make that big strike when and if the right player becomes actually available.